Welcome to the Industrial Talk Podcast with Scott McKenzie. Scott is a passionate industry professional dedicated to transferring cutting-edge, industry-focused innovations and trends while highlighting the men and women who keep the world moving. So put on your hard hat, grab your work boots, and let's go.
All right, this is day 2 at IoT Solutions World Congress. We are on site. This is 2023. Put this on a calendar just because you need to put it on your calendar. You get great people like Marc, who solves problems and makes your life better. He's right. He's in the hot seat, by the way, FYI. And we're going to have conversations about how he pronounces words that I don't pronounce like he does, like aluminum. How do you do it?
Aluminium.
See? No, right off the bat, we disagree. And it is a platform that is dedicated to industrial professionals all around the world because you are bold, brave, you dare greatly, you collaborate, you innovate, you're making the life of many better, including myself. Absolutely, including myself. Marc is in the hot seat. National Composites Centre.
National Composites Centre.
Whatever. Right there. Let's get cracking. There's your fan. Your one fan.
Fantastic.
Yeah.
I just got one of them, yes.
Hi, my fan. How are you doing?
I'm fine, thank you. Thanks for having me here. Looks good.
Good conference?
Yeah, I joined actually this morning just to try and I was one of the speakers in this thing called the Metaverse and what it actually means to enterprise.
Let me put that down on my notes because I want to ask you about Meta.
It's one of those phrases that I guess don't particularly want to ask you about because we don't really have a definition for it, and that's what we're going to talk about.
Yeah, see, I like that. That's pretty Jake. I like that a lot. Background. Give us a background on who Marc is with a C.
Yeah, sure. I'm originally born and bred in South Africa, so apologies for the accent. We do pronounce our words correctly, though, so apologies for this one.
And he's trash talking. Good for him.
So engineering background, mainly in the aerospace industry. Worked a lot for Airbus, Rolls-Royce, companies such as that in the Bristol area in the UK for the last 20 years. Have been an industrialist. Last company was with GKN, part of their global organization, so worked across the nations, US, Netherlands, Europe, etc., and in Scandinavia, helping them to develop digital methods, tools, processes that will essentially add value to the way they do and develop products for the future, really. Yeah.
Are you a sports fan?
I am, yeah.
And the sport is?
Mainly rugby. But I do play a lot of hockey, field and hockey.
See, I hate to digress, but I'm all into rugby. I don't know the game real well. I've been watching it for a number of years, but I don't know how they do it. I don't know. I mean, it's like
it's like American football.
But it's even worse. It's like a combination of American football and soccer, where you never stop running, and you never.
Yeah, the World Cup's coming up. I'm sure you'll watch it. Very good players, right? Yeah.
You know what my team is?
Who's your team then?
Bath.
South Africa.
No, Bath.
Oh, right, that's around the corner from us. How can you be at Bath? I heard you were coming to watch Bristol Bears against Bath in one of our stadiums.
Bristol Bears. Yeah, so Bath, and this is how it sort of rolled. It was like, hey, I'm here in Bath. Hey, look at that. They've got a rugby team. Hey, let me go into the sports. Hey, now I have a rugby jersey. It's Bath. There it is. So every year they disappoint me.
Yeah,
they do.
Unfortunately, yeah. So Bristol Bears are doing well this year, or as well as we can.
Well,
it's all good.
There's a couple of big guys on the Bristol Bears.
Most of the South African guys know that.
They're big, man. I'm telling you. Some of them, they're monsters, man.
Yeah, it's a big game.
All right, let's crack. Talking about, tell us about, just briefly, about National how do you say it?
National Composites Centre.
Composites Centre.
My American accent's going.
Okay, right there. Tell us a little bit about that, and then I want to go into that Metaverse, conversation there. No, that's true.
So the National Composites Centre is actually one part of 7 catapult centres. The UK government is invested in the concept of the catapult. It recognises that there's a heap of good technology that's available out there, especially coming from UK-based startups and companies, and it's sort of the valley of death, as we call it, is this relationship between tech coming in and actual industry adoption. And there's this piece in the middle which says there's a bit of a failure there, recognizing that we need to be able to do something in the middle of how technologies evolve from ideas all the way through to things that actually get and provide value and impact into industry. And the piece in the middle is what's called the technology readiness level scale, if you're familiar with the concept. In the middle of it is, how do you take stuff that's been tested in your in your lab environments, in your sheds, and how do you move it into a realistic space which looks and feels like something that's been de-risked that industry can then adopt. So we almost act as that fail-fast kind of testbed place for industry and use our facilities, which are large-scale facilities, to essentially test technology on their behalf and see which ones work and which ones don't, and then help them on their adoption journey. That's what I'll do. We're an innovation center.
And maybe for me, so you're looking at this technology and you're trying to at least bring it into a commercial type of environment where it makes sense.
Yeah.
It's like, okay, this is good stuff, this is good stuff. How do you... And I like Catapult. That's a good...
It's Catapult, yeah. So catapulting technology is all about developing cases for investment. We know that the biggest blockers are ultimately about, hey, why should I invest in this tech? Well, actually, this tech's good, this tech's bad. Actually, we focus on the problem. Why do we want this tech? What is the problems that it's trying to solve? What impact it's trying to make? And then we work backwards and look at the different solutions. And we use a term, Ryan, there's so much technology, especially the digital hype technology curve. And so what we're trying to do is filter through the good stuff, and the bad stuff, and sort of, try everything on behalf of industry, but relevant and at the scale that they would recognize. So if you walk in our facility, it looks like a manufacturing facility. In fact, it is a manufacturing facility. We do prototypes sponsored by government to act as they go-between. We have members in our organizations, and the Catapult, there's 7 of us. We focus on composites, which are pretty much the carbon fiber, glass fiber laid up to make surfboards all the way up to rockets and aircraft. And ultimately, we focus on the areas of manufacturing and engineering development and use digital techniques and show businesses how to adapt and adopt and innovate with them, and so accelerate their journey to providing impact, essentially.
One of the noisy things that exist out there, by the way, I've been looking at my calendar when you were saying, hey, we have this center, and I don't see my calendar filled with the opportunity to broadcast from that location. I'm sure that's an oversight.
You can absolutely, if you would like to come and have a chat to me.
That's shameless. That's absolutely
unbelievable
shameless.
Marketing right there.
But the challenge I see too, in light of all of that, is how do you pick and choose? How do you catapult? How do you move something forward? Because it's noisy out there. I'm just a humble old dog-eyed guy here. I don't know how you choose that.
That is a fantastic question. Ultimately, you start from why. We talk about diagnosing the problems, and we work with the industry to essentially filter through what are the key case studies, what are the key things that they want to do. So you look at what it is that you want to try and achieve, why you want to try and achieve, and what help is it going to give you, and then you work backwards. And you can have multiple solution architectures, called designs, ultimately. And we offer a platform for all suppliers to come in. And some might sell you things because the salespeople are out there promoting that their system can do A, B, C, D things and it solves all those problems. But in reality, what we do is we test all these things out, and then we either poke holes at, or we actually validate and say, these 3 or 4 or 5 different systems you do. So we don't necessarily say, these are the ones you should use, because our mandate is to offer opportunities for all supply chains. We actually promote and showcase what things could do and what they cannot do. And it provides 2 things. One, back to the technology provides to say, you're missing this gap, go and do pieces of research or development in this area, and also then provides an opportunity to broker those relationships. So we don't sell commercial products, we're not there to make a commercial solution, we're a non-profit. We're actually there to help people broker those relationships, essentially.
I like that sort of advocacy approach, because, one, there's a lot of individuals, a lot of people out there saying, we can do that, we can do that, we can do it. And so that trust, all of my conversations that I have, it's always like, I get it. Who do I trust? And that's sort of that human side, right?
Correct.
Who?
Yeah.
Because I know I need to do it.
Yep.
But that guy's hanging that shingle over there. I'm not sure if I trust him.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it.
Yeah.
And but if we're on this sort of this innovation journey, that we need those trusted individuals to help us along that don't have anything like you guys. You need that advocacy. I like that.
Yeah, the 2 parts of trust is brilliant that you brought it in, because one is, do you trust the partner that you're ultimately going to go and broker or whatever you have for, and do you then trust the technology that's associated with that partner? Because if we were to float it into this metaverse conversation, it's like there's the people side and the company side, and do you trust that company to be your partner on the journey for future commercial offerings and services? On the other side of the fence, what they're offering is it trustworthy in its own? Is the simulations or the AI or the tools or the methods that they're promoting, are they actually trustworthy in their own nature? Ooh, and now you start getting into this whole, well, I can trust a person, do I trust a model? And as you move into more future state of analysis simulations, actually making decisions, potentially making decisions on behalf of humans, are you starting to build trust in that other side of things, yeah? And you're starting to get into that murky waters of ethics and pieces.
Absolutely. It's always a human equation, It just is. It's just a human equation.
It's a difficult one, and trust is absolutely key to all these things.
Trust is everything.
Yeah.
And everybody listening to this conversation says, yeah, I went down the road. I got the, I nailed this solution, and it never delivered. And yuck.
Yeah, exactly. And you've got some really good examples of, like, we asked it to be configured this way. It didn't actually give us, and actually we're worse off now than we were before. Let's start again. And all that money goes into the pot.
Absolutely.
And this is where it goes, if you're going to start a journey, diagnostics, understanding the problem. I think it was Einstein said something stupid, like you spend 95% of your time identifying what the actual problem is you want to solve, 5% solving it.
Yeah.
Because actually, technologies exist. Looking around this conference today, the technologies are out there, and people are offering overlapping things, and it gets very confusing.
Yes.
Don't worry about it too much. What is the problem we're trying to solve? Come to like an innovation center, talk to people, and break it down into tangible bits, and then each technology can provide a facet to it. And what we try to do is operate as that integrator, that ability to break things down into tangible, digestible problems, and then look at the technology solutions that fit within that remit. That's fundamentally what the job of the Catapult is. And we tend to think of ourselves more as architects and integrators of these kind of solutions. Well, we don't own technology solutions. Again, we're that intermediary in the middle that's trying to bridge that gap, really.
Well, Industrial Talk is the industrial media platform that is a catapult in gaining greater attention. I'm going to use Catapult.
So you're going to use Catapult going forward. That's a trademark name right there.
Catapult. All right, let's venture into Metaverse. Let's define it. First off, why?
Why? I think branding. I'll use the word branding. I think there's digital twin, there's IoT, there's names that have to be put to certain things to denote a change, potentially. So I can't tell you what the metaverse is. I think it's still forming, to be honest. It's a concept that's evolving and forming. And really, maybe I'm saying don't worry about what the metaverse is. Don't really worry about what the name the digital twin is. Worry about what it is you want to achieve and the impact that you want to make in your organization. And then the set of tools, techniques, and technologies will form the fundamental thing called the metaverse that you'll plug into ultimately.
But does the digital twin and the principles of digital twin, augmented reality, all of that fit into this whole metaverse? It's sort of like the metaverse is the macro, sort of the digital representation of the physical world.
I think that's a really good way. So you could have mini-verses.
Yeah.
Anyway, you've got something that you want to get data from, that you want to be able to get intelligence from, something that you want to get an immersive relationship with. That's the digital twin concept. I have a physical asset, I have a virtual version of it, a digital version of it, and from interacting with that, I get more intelligence about that product and about that process or about that thing than I would have if it was just looking at something physical, like a microphone. I know exactly what's happening behind the microphone. It's giving me the data in a realistic format that allows me to make more conscious decisions and more informed decisions about what it is, and it's given to me in a media that I really understand. I was saying to my kids the other day, we never had YouTube. This is going out, I'm not sure what platform it goes out on, but...
What's that?
YouTube, I don't know, but if it goes out on a platform, you're going, actually people interact with media, they interact with visual stimuli. They don't really interact with paper. So you're talking about how do you get that data in dashboards, visual media, immersive media, but they're all part of the technology strands. And then you talk about, well, this is a microphone. What about this facet? As you start expanding it, then you start to talk about the interconnectivity and relationships and taking away the silos, and then you start talking about, whoa, that's the metaverse type stuff. Whoa, this is the whole thing about the digital universe, essentially.
No, I get it. And in fact, I enjoy the opportunity, the ability to be able to learn visually, right?
Yep.
Don't dump a piece of paper on me and say, here's the policy. this is the maintenance procedure associated with that asset, right?
Yep.
I'm going to do it wrong.
Correct.
But if you give me that interactive visual component, that's like, I'm all in.
Yeah, and let's not talk about it. There's reasons why you have those control work instructions, and because there's a certification process that comes along, and you're looking at how the metaverse can really accelerate new products. We need these products out there tomorrow for net zero agendas. They're going to be radically different in a lot of instances. They're going to be using technologies like hydrogen, like electrification. All they're coming through now. How do we start to certify those things, and how does the metaverse and the digital twinning aspects and all the technologies help us to certify those products quicker? That really is the major intent at a macro scale about how do these digital technologies help engineers design better, design faster, and essentially bring the regulators, bring the collaboration from the supply chain into the agenda through that whole interactive data set in the right way and in the immersive fashion. Collaboration and co-creation.
Yeah, see, look at that. You're saying, okay, I'm just going, right, I got to get collaboration in there, I got to get co-creation, I got to get the buzzwords out there, make sure they're out there.
Collaboration via buzzword. We're collaborating right now.
We're collaborating right now. We're chirping back and forth. We're making things happen. Is there a moral challenge, a human moral challenge? I know the metaverse and people are, some issues there.
Yeah, I think there'll always be this hesitation.
I don't get it with the industry, trust me. I think it's necessary.
Oh, yeah. There'll always be a conflict between, it's going to come back to trust, right? Do you look at a simulation on AI making decisions? Would you allow something else to make a decision for you? And would that decision actually be right? I think we were talking about autonomous vehicles the other day, and we were saying emergency stops in a car. For example, a ball crosses the road and a kid chases after the ball, right? So would the car stop for the ball or the kid? Would it be able to recognize and distinguish the difference between the ball and the kid?
Right.
And you're starting to go, well, if the metaverse and is all about trying to get that data in right way, and as a human, you would go for the ball because you're taking in and then you start to get into, would you actually start to get into the ethical debate around all that debate around what decisions an AI could actually make on your behalf, et cetera, and that's a really interesting minefield to go into. We're not quite there yet, but it's getting that direction.
What I do see is a no opportunity for attorneys to get involved.
Oh, no.
It's like, all right, another possible revenue stream. I'm just saying possible.
Yeah, and a colleague later on will probably talk a lot about this, but the ethics and the legality and who takes the insurance, all of that will come into the facets.
But who's that body that defines that? Who's creating those standards? Who's creating that common lexicon that ensures accuracy in conversation? It's like
so most regulatory stuff will be a combination of the government policy down first and the industrial bodies coming together to make sure that there's things, and then you've got a lot of technology work going on, and academic thinking going on into how you build trust and ethics into the digital twins, the ARs of the future type thing. I don't think there is a single body that's trying to do it, but there are certainly activities going on in the space. It's coming through.
You're awesome.
But there you go. I mean,
you're it, man.
We're here to help, as I say.
See, your advocacy. Yeah. There needs to be that in a big, big way. How do people say, hey, I like Marc with a C. He goes to the same barber as Scott McKenzie. How do I get a hold of him?
You basically jump onto the website and you go I think it's nccuk.com.
Wow, quite the spokesman for the website.
nccuk.com.
You're not. Yeah. You were awesome, man. And thank you for being patient when I was running in from a lunch. You were so cool about the whole damn guy. You made me feel better about myself.
You make me feel better about myself.
That's right. Look at that. It's like you're a younger me. This is what you get to look forward to.
Like, oh my gosh. Sorry, my wife. Yeah.
You'll look like this. All right. We're going to wrap it up on the other side. We're going to have all the contact information for Marc with a C out on Industrial Talk, so fear not. Reach out to this gent. Advocacy. It's happening. Find those Sherpas. He be one of them. All right. We will be right back.
You're listening to the Industrial Talk Podcast Network.
All right, once again, thank you very much for joining Industrial Talk and your continued support. That was Marc with a C. Incredible professional, a must-connect type of guy. Make that happen. Everything will be out there on Industrial Talk. You know that as well as I do. You're going to have his stat card out there. You're going to look at his stat card and you're going to say, man, that's a heck of a stat card. And it is. He knows his stuff. Humble guy. And his name is spelled Funnell. We emphasize the fun in his name. So that's Mark. Excellent conversation. Also, put this on your bucket list. You've got to put this on your bucket list because IoT Solutions World Congress 24. Now that's going to be mid-year next year. Plan for that. Because you get people like Mark and others who are really dedicated to trying to solve problems. They have a passion to collaborate. And the team of Fair Barcelona do an excellent job at bringing everybody together. In short, it's an excellent experience. So put that on your calendar. All right, be bold, be brave. Dare greatly. I say it all the time. You go to IoT, you're going to hang out with people like Mark, and you're going to change the world. We're going to have more coming from this particular conference shortly, so stay tuned.